For years, the WNBA was doubted, dismissed, and often made into a punchline. Now the league feels different, and not in a small way either. Popularity can come in bursts. A star can catch fire, a highlight can go viral, a big game breaks through. For a few days, the league feels impossible to ignore. But with popularity comes something else. The league starts showing up with more weight, more frequency, and more staying power. It feels less like a spike and more like part of the sports landscape. The question is not whether the WNBA has attention, because it clearly does. The more important question is whether the visibility, conversation, attendance, and public relevance are now strengthening each other, making the league feel larger than any one player or headline could possibly explain. Welcome to this episode of the Weekly Lens. In this mini-series, we'll go through the different levels of the WNBA and what's making it turn into the league that it is today. For a long time, the WNBA sat outside the center of the sports world. The talent was always there, but for a lot of people, the league was still easy to overlook, easy to underestimate, and easy to keep at a distance. They started changing more noticeably over the last few years. Respect grew, interest grew, and the conversation around the league got louder. Acknowledgement is not the same thing as presence. A league does not feel bigger just because more people say it matters. It feels bigger when it starts showing up more often to more people in more parts of the sporting world. And that's what feels a bit different now. The WNBA feels less like an occasional flashpoint and more like something with steadier place in the conversation. The game feels more discussed, players feel more visible, and coverage feels more constant. And once that kind of attention becomes more regular, the league will start to feel different before anything else even changes. The NBA is now being placed in bigger spots, not just getting more attention, but premium attention. ESPN created a Sunday night women's sports franchise built around the WNBA and the NWSL. It's one sign of that shift as it's starting to begin. It tells viewers that the league is not just earning coverage, it's earning primetime placement. It replaced MLB Sunday Night Baseball. That kind of placement changes how a league is perceived. It feels less like side property and more like a part of the main sports calendar. And once that starts happening repeatedly, perception shifts fast. The league shows up in bigger windows, stronger presentation, and more central conversation. People do not need to watch every game to feel the difference. They just need to notice that the WNBA now appears in places where they'd expect to see prime time and important viewership opportunities. And once a league starts getting that type of attention, the effects do not stay isolated. More media attention creates more curiosity. The more curiosity will create more viewers, and more viewers create more conversation. More conversation will create a stronger demand for coverage. The crowd is part of the story too. A fuller building makes a difference easier to feel on TV. The game will sound different, it will look different, and it will carry itself differently. From the outside, it feels less like background programming and more like something with real demand behind it. When stronger media attention and strong fan attendance start showing up at the same time, the league stops feeling like it's borrowing momentum from one source. It starts feeling like the interest is coming from multiple directions at once. That is what makes this feel different. It looks like several forms of attention rising at the same time. And once that attention starts rising from multiple directions at the same time, the league starts to be seen differently. A league starts to truly feel bigger when stronger attendance, stronger TV coverage begin creating more exposure outside the games themselves. What happens in an arena when the broadcast starts carrying into sports radio, newspaper headlines, debate shows, and the broader sports conversation? That shift matters because it changes how the league is framed. It stops feeling like a niche property people check in on occasionally and start feeling more like part of the main structure. The WNBA does not just feel bigger because more people are watching. It feels bigger because more parts of the sports world are now reacting to it, talking about it, and making additional space for it. Once that coverage starts spreading into more parts of the sports world, people begin encountering the league even when they were not specifically seeking it out. That kind of repeated recognition helps turn attention into familiarity, and that will tend to build popularity over time. So when people say that the WNBA feels bigger now, they are picking up something real. Not just more star power or buzz, the league feels bigger because visibility, media coverage, fan attendance, and public relevance are now building on each other instead of showing up at one at a time. That does not answer every question about the league and where it goes next, but it does change the starting point. The WNBA is no longer just speaking through in moments, it's starting to feel more consistently present. And once that page turns, the next question becomes harder. Because breakout attention is one thing, but institutional strength is another. A league can feel bigger before it is fully built to carry that weight. That's where this story goes next. That concludes episode 1 of this 4-part mini-series on a deep dive into the WNBA and its recent success. Please check back tomorrow for episode 2 or come to the channel page at any time to continue. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Weekly Lens.